Okay, let's discuss the problems of refraction of light. Okay, I'm gonna cover all the problems, textual and example problems present in the textbook. So, in order to solve these problems, you should know some equations. They are Lenz's formula, that is 1 by v minus 1 by u equals to 1 by f. Next, curved surface formula, that is n2 by v minus n1 by u equals to n2 minus n1 by r. Third one is Lenzmaker's formula, that is 1 by f equals to n minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Finally, one more thing you should remember, that whenever we use these equations, you have to substitute the values by following the sign conventions. I hope you know this and remember. And again, in order to solve these problems, you should know some tricks and methods. I already told you in case of reflection problems, but same first four rules are as it is. But fifth one is for mirrors, the magnification value formula is minus v by u. For the lenses, magnification formula is m equals to v by u. Okay, this is the only one small difference in case of magnification, and remaining all points are similar here. There is no difference in them. Okay, so object distance should be always taken negative, and magnification less than 1, that it is diminished, greater than 1 enlarged. Magnification positive means virtually erect. If the magnification negative means okay, real inverted. But magnification for in case of concave and convex mirrors, that is m equals to minus v by u, and for lenses it will be equals to m equals to v by u. Okay, let's move on to the first problem. A bird is flying down vertically towards the surface of water in a pond with a constant speed. There is a fish inside the water. If that fish is exactly vertically below the bird, then the bird will appear to the fish to be. The question is, the bird is flying vertically downward along a straight line towards the pond of water, and there is a fish exactly below the bird, okay, at a certain depth, and this fish is looking at the bird. Now the question is how the bird appears to the fish. Okay, how the bird appears to the fish: farther away than its actual distance, closer than its actual distance, moving faster than its actual speed, moving slower than its actual speed. Okay, so how does it appear? So in order to find out this, we have to apply any one equations of which we have discussed in the beginning. Unless and until we apply those equations, any one of them, we cannot find out how actually bird appears to the fish. Okay, so here see that how the bird appears to the fish is the question. So the light rays which are originating from bird to the fish are important to us. Why? Because here the question is how bird appears to the fish. So that's why the light rays which are moving from bird to the fish will decide how the bird appears to the fish. Okay, in this problem we are going to use the curved surface equation formula, that is n2 by v minus n1 by u equals to n2 minus n1 by r. But here this water surface is a plane surface, so the radius of curvature will become infinite. So when this will become infinite, something n2 by n1 by infinite will be equals to 0. This part will become 0 total. Okay, so finally we will get n2 by v equals to n1 by u. So first light rays are moving in the air. Why? Because the light rays which are moving from bird to the fish are important to us. So in that case, the light rays first moving in the air, then they are entering into the water. So here the first medium is air, second medium is water, and the refractive index of the first medium n1, that is 1, and the refractive index of the second medium, that is water, is n. So here in simple way, if you draw the ray diagram from bird to the water, then you can see that when the light rays enter from rarer medium to denser medium, they bend towards the normal. When these two light rays are reaching the fish, when you extend them backward, they intersect at a certain point farther than its actual distance. Okay, so sorry, if the bird is at x distance from the surface of the water, it appears to the fish as it is at a y distance. Okay, in this diagram you can actually understand that y is greater than x. So here at any particular instance of time, let's consider that the bird is at x distance, so object distance is x. Okay, and the image is formed at a distance of y. So see that in these two, object distance and image distance, we measure. Let's imagine pole point here, or optic center you can imagine here. Okay, so light rays are moving from bird to fish, but we measure object distance, see, in the opposite direction. optic center to bud in the opposite direction, optic center to image in the opposite direction. So we should take this object distance x and image distance y, both negative only. Next, we use n2 by v equals to n1 by u formula. Just now I told you. Here fish is looking at the bud. So the light rays which are coming from bud to fish decides how bud appears to the fish, which I also told you this one. So the light rays first moving in air, then entering into the water. So first medium is air and second medium is water. Let the refractive index of the first medium, that is air, n1 equals to 1. Let the refractive index of water be n2 equals to n. Okay, at any particular instance of time, just now I told you that at any particular instance of time, let the is at x distance and its image is formed at a y distance. Okay, so let the object distance is equal to minus x and image distance equal to minus y. Just now I told you that why we should take these two also negative. And here these values n1 equals to 1, n2 equals to n, u equals to minus x, v equals to minus y. When we substitute this in the equation 1, then we get y equals to nx. Okay, image distance is the product of its refractive index and object distance. With this we can understand that y is actually greater than x. Okay, so here I will go to the same diagram again. In any particular t seconds of time, if the bird moves, okay, this x distance, then fish experiences in that same particular time, t seconds, the bird has covered y distance. Okay, so if at any particular instance of time, that is in any particular duration of time t seconds, if the bird has covered x distance, but fish experiences that bird has covered y distance in the same duration of time. With this we can say that, okay, what the bird appears that it is moving faster than its actual speed. Okay, it appears as it is moving faster than its actual speed. Remember that. Next, move on to the second problem. A transparent sphere of radius r and a refractive index n is kept in air. At what distance from the surface of the sphere should a point object be placed on the principal axis so as to form a real image at the same distance from the second surface of the sphere? Okay, so this is a transparent sphere and its radius of curvature is capital R and its refractive index is a small n and it is kept in air medium. Okay, and is asking that at what distance, okay, at what distance a object should be placed in front of this transparent sphere in order to form the image at same distance on opposite side. So let's consider that that object should be placed at x distance from the transparent sphere, okay, to form the image at the same distance on opposite side. Let's consider this object should be placed at x distance to form the image on at the same distance on opposite side. Okay, so here object distance is minus xy because you imagine the optic center here. So we measure the object here we measure the object distance from optic center to object, but the light rays from the object, they are moving in the opposite direction. So we should take the object distance negative. Okay, so the light rays which are originating from this object, in order to form the image at the same distance on opposite side, when they enter from air to this transparent sphere, they must become parallel. Okay, the light rays which are originating from the object to form the image at the same distance on opposite side, when they enter into the sphere, they should become parallel. Okay, so here light rays, when they are entering into the sphere, they are becoming parallel. Understand? So now I am gonna apply the curved surface formula for the light rays when they are entering from air to sphere, only up to this half of the portion. Okay, not to the total. I'm going to apply the curved surface formula when the light rays are entering from air to sphere. Okay, so your object distance is minus x and image distance is infinite. We have to take. Why? Because once the light rays are entering into the sphere, they are becoming parallel now. So the parallel light rays will form the image at infinite distance. So image distance should be taken here infinite only. And first medium is air. Refractive index of the air is 1, and second medium is sphere, and refractive index of the sphere, it is already given, that is n. So see here, n2 by v minus n1 by u, but here it is taken plus. Why? Because object distance is minus na, so minus into minus becomes plus, so plus n1 by u equals to n2 minus n1 by r. Okay, and we all know that n2 is nothing but the refractive index of a transparent sphere, that is n. Image distance is infinite. Okay, so this n by infinite, this total term will become 0. Next, here radius of curvature, okay, that is r, capital R, we know that. And here n1 is the refractive index of the air, that is 1, and object distance is minus x, which we have taken. Here when we substitute these all values, n by infinite, this total term will become 0. 1 by x equals to, here n2 is the refractive index of the sphere, that is equals to n, minus n1 is the refractive index of the air, that is equals to 1, by capital R. And we need x here, because question is at what distance from the transparent sphere an object should be placed to form the image at the same distance on opposite side. So here x equals to, we will get that r by n minus 1. This total term will become 0, and when we do the cross multiplication here, r into 1 r and x into n minus 1, and we need x, however. Okay, so we will get r by n minus 1. So object should be placed at r by n minus 1 distance to form the image at the same distance on opposite side. Okay, let's move on. A transparent glass sphere has a small opaque dot at its center. This is the transparent, okay, glass sphere has a small opaque dot, okay, non-transparent dot at its center. Does the apparent position of the dot appear to be the same as its actual position when observed from outside? So let's consider that an observer is actually observing this dot, which is located at the center of this transparent sphere. So how does it appear? Does it appear closer than its actual distance? Does it appear farther than its actual distance? Okay, so how does it appear actually? Observer is observing actually this dot. So how does it appear? Does it appear where it is actually existing, or does it appear closer than its actual distance, or farther than its actual distance? So here also we are gonna apply the curved surface formula, okay, and radius of curvature is capital R here. So here, sir, how this dot appears to this observer, it is decided by the light rays which are originating from dot to the observer. Okay, it is decided by the light rays which are originating from this dot to the observer. So the first light rays are moving in the transparent sphere. So the first medium is this transparent sphere. Okay, so the refractive index of the first medium is n, and next second medium is air. So the refractive index of the second medium is 1. Now here dot is located, see, at the center. So here this dot is acting as object. So this is the optic center. So what is the object distance? Distance from optic center to the position of the object, which is also equal to radius of curvature. Remember that. Okay, so here object distance is equal to radius of curvature. Why? Because the object is placed at the center, and distance from optic center to the center is equal to radius of curvature. So sir, it should be taken positive or negative. See, we measure the object distance from optic center to object, and light rays from the object are moving that is right to left in the opposite direction. So we must take the object distance actually negative, and we have to find out the image distance. So here nu 2, nu 1, they are nothing but n2, n1 only. Remember, okay, there nu 2, nu 1 are nothing but n2, n1 only. So look at here, n2 is the refractive index of the air, that is equals to 1. n1, this is the refractive index of the transparent sphere, that is equals to n. And n2 minus n1, that is 1 minus n. Radius of curvature, already you know that that is capital R. But let's understand here, radius of curvature also should be taken negative, and next to object distance also should be taken negative here. Radius of curvature should be taken negative. Why? See here, we measure the radius of curvature from optic center to the center. Okay, but the light rays are moving from the object to the optic center in the opposite direction. So we must take radius of curvature negative, and we should take object distance also negative. So here n2 is the one, and image distance which we have to calculate, n1 is the refractive index of the transparent sphere, that is n. Object distance is minus r, and n2 minus n1, here n2 is again, that is 1, minus n1 is the refractive index of the transparent sphere, small n, radius of curvature, that is minus r. Okay, so when you substitute these values, then we will get v equals to minus r. Okay, so finally here we got 1 by v equals to 1 by minus r na, so we will get v equals to minus r. So this observer experiences the object actually where it is really exist. Okay, so it appears to the observer where it is actually exist. It neither appears closer than its actual distance or farther than its actual distance. It appears where it is actually exist. Okay, because image distance is equal to the object distance. Object distance is equal to r. Image distance also is equal to r. Next, move on to the ray diagrams. These are the ray diagrams, not a problem, but it is in the some of the example ray diagrams, and in the textual questions also these ray diagrams have been given. And most of the students they get many doubts in drawing the ray diagrams by the this simple dot objects. Okay, so let's consider that a point object is placed at point S on the principal axis. Okay, so where the image is formed. So here this point object S is placed in front of a convex lens on principal axis. So sir, where the image is formed of this point object, in order to find out that, you have to draw the ray diagrams. Okay, so how do you draw the ray diagram? First one is, see, the light ray originating from the object passing along the principal axis will be undeviated from its original direction. Okay, so this is the first light ray which we have drawn. Okay, good. But in order to locate the position of the image, we have to draw one more light ray also. So that one more light ray, how we can draw? See, draw a light ray originating from the object incident at a certain point P dash on the convex lens. Okay, here or here, wherever you can incident it. So here this light ray is originating from the object and incident at a certain point P dash. After refraction, in which direction it moves, we don't know now. So stop the light ray here only. Now draw a line that is passing through optic center and parallel to this incident light ray, and draw a vertical line that is passing through the opposite focus point and perpendicular to the principal axis. Okay, two things. Here I have drawn the two lines. First one, draw a line which is passing through optic center and parallel to this incident light ray, and draw a vertical line which is passing through the opposite focus point perpendicular to the principal axis. These two lines are intersecting here. Okay, exactly. So this light ray, after refraction, it passes through the point of intersection of these 2 points. Okay, so see, now these two light rays are intersecting here. So the image of this point object is formed here. Okay, so this is how to draw the ray diagram for the formation of image of a point object by convex lens. Now move on. Sir, how to draw a ray diagram for the formation of image of a point object by a convex lens? Okay, so first light ray, that is common in convex lens and concave lens. The light ray originating from the object passing through principal axis will be undeviated from its original direction. Okay, now second light ray is, let's consider I am drawing a light ray that is originating from the object incident at a certain point on biconcave lens here. After refraction, in which direction it moves, we don't know. Okay, so stop this light ray here itself. Now draw a parallel light ray that is passing through optic center and parallel to this incident light ray. Okay, draw a parallel line that is passing through optic center and parallel to this incident light ray, and draw a vertical line passing through the same side focus. In convex lens, draw a vertical line that is passing through opposite focus point. But in case of biconcave lens, draw a line Okay, vertical line that is passing through the same side focus point perpendicular to the principal axis. Okay, now these two lines, this one, this parallel line, this vertical line are intersecting here. Okay, so this light ray after the refraction by the concave lens, it will diverge. When the diverged light ray is extended backward, it passes through the intersection of these two lines. Okay, that is how. Now see that this light ray and this light ray which is diverged when it is extended backward, this light ray and this light ray when they are extended backward, they are intersecting here. We know that in order to look at the position of image, we need the intersection of any two light rays after refraction. So this light ray, see, when these two light rays, this one and this one, when they are extended backward, they actually intersect here. So the image of this point object will be found here. Okay, I hope that you understood. An electric lamp and a screen are placed on the table in a line at a distance of 1 meter. In what positions of convex lens of focal length of f equals to 21 centimeters will the image of lamp be sharp? So in the problem it is given that this lamp and a screen, they are placed one beside to other and separated by a distance that is 1 meter. Okay, so here the distance is represented by small d. So here in the problem that small d value is 1 meter and focal length of the lens is given 24 centimeters. So that's why we have to convert this d value that is given 1 meter. Now we have to convert it into the centimeters. And the question of this problem is at what distance from this lamp this lens should be placed to obtain a clear and sharp image on the screen. Okay, I repeat that question which is asking at what distance from the lamp this lens should be placed to get a clear and sharp image on the screen. Let's consider thus that this lens should be placed at x distance from the lamp. Okay, let's consider this lens should be placed at x distance from the lamp. So lamp acts as object, so object distance here x, and remember that the object distance should be taken negative. Why? Because from the lamp light rays will be moving from left to right. Okay, and we measure object distance from optic center to the lamp, that is right to left, so we must take the object distance negative. And so what will be the image distance, sir? When the lamp is placed at x distance from the lamp, then the image will be found on the screen. Then the distance between the lamp and the screen will be d minus x. Why? Because the distance between the lamp and the screen is d. Okay, and the distance between the lamp and lens is x. Then this remaining distance, that distance between the lens and screen will be d minus x. Okay, now in order to find out that at what distance this lens should be placed from the lamp to get a clear and sharp image on the screen. Okay, so we have to find out this x value. So we are going to use the lens formula 1 by f equals to 1 by v minus 1 by u. F value here is 21 centimeters and image distance value is d minus x. In the problem it is given that d value is 1 meter, so we are going to take that in centimeters. So 100 centimeters minus x, and object distance value is x, and just now I told you that we should take this x negative. So 1 by 21, and here next equals to 1 by v, here 1 by 100 minus x plus minus 1 by u value is minus x, so minus into minus plus, so plus 1 by x. Here finally we get a second degree polynomial equation x square minus 100x plus 2100 equals to 0. When you solve this second degree polynomial equation, then you will get the two zeros. They are x equals to 70 centimeters and x equals to 30 centimeters. Okay, so here we can place the lens at a 70 centimeter distance or 30 centimeter distance from the lamp to get a clear and sharp image on the screen of the lamp. Next, move on. What is the focal length of double concave lens kept in air? Here this is the double concave lens. Okay, its left side radius of curvature is r1 and right side radius of curvature is r2. Okay, with two spherical surfaces of radii r1 30 centimeters, r2 60 centimeters. Take the refractive index of the lens 1.5. Always remember that when refractive index and radius of curvatures value is given, okay, and along with that if the focal length value is also he is asking to us to find out or something like focal length, radius of curvature, refractive index, then you must use lens makers formula only, okay. When radius of curvatures and object distance and image distances values are given, then you have to use the curved surface formula, remember that, okay. So here he's asking us to find out the focal length, so we are going to use the lens makers formula. So the refractive index of the lens he has given, that is 1.5. So now R1, R2 values, which one should be taken positive and which one should be taken negative? See, here there is no object on light rays to decide that one. Okay, in most of the other problems, what do we do? From the object, there will be object. So from the object, light rays will be moving in one direction. Then by taking that direction of light as a reference, we take actually the different values positive or negative. But here object is not there, na? So we will only take one light ray, that is move left to right. So we will only take this light ray as a reference. Now see, we measure the first radius of curvature from optic center to first focus in the opposite direction. These light rays moving, okay, left to right, and we measure the first radius of curvature, that is from P to F1 in the opposite direction. So we must take this R1 negative. And next radius of curvature 2, R2, we measure from optic center to F2 along the direction of the light that we have taken. So we must take it positive. So here substitute these values, then we will get F equals to 40 centimeters. Okay, R1 we have taken negative, R2 as it is positive, then F value will be calculated as minus 40 centimeters. Okay, this minus symbol here represents that this given lens is diverging lens or concave lens. The focal length of converging lens is 20 centimeters. Okay, a converging lens focal length is 20 centimeters. A 2 centimeters height object is placed at a 60 centimeter distance from the lens. Where will the image be formed and what kind of image is it? And is asking us to find out the image distance and calculate the height of the image and find out the nature of the image also. Okay, he has given the height of the object, object distance, okay, and focal length of the lens, that is 20 centimeters. So now he's asking us to find out the image distance, height of the image and nature of the image. So to calculate the image distance, we have to use the lens formula, that is 1 by V minus 1 by U equals to 1 by F. Now, sir, object distance should always be taken negative only, whether it is a concave mirror, convex mirror, concave lens, convex lens, whatever. Okay, so object distance should always be taken negative only. Next, focal length is taken positive here, and next substitute these values in the lens formula. Okay, 1 by V minus 1 by object distance minus 60, so minus into minus plus equals to 1 by F. F value is 20, so 1 by V plus 1 by 60 equals to 1 by 20. Take this plus 1 by 60 to the right, then we will get equals to 1 by 20 minus 1 by 60. 1 by V equals to 3 minus 1 by 60. So after the further simplification, we will get image distance 30 centimeters. So where will the image be formed? Image will be formed at a 30 centimeter distance. Okay. Now next, sir, what is the nature of the image? Whether it is mirrors or lenses, to find out the nature of the image, we have to use the magnification formula. And I also told you in the beginning of this lesson, in the tricks and methods also, I told you that in case of mirrors, magnification formula is minus V by U, and in case of lenses, the magnification formula is plus V by U, remember that, okay. And in every case, whenever we actually use this formula, we will substitute the values by following the sign conventions again, okay. So M equals to image distance 30, okay, as it is 30, by object distance, that is minus 60. Okay, again you don't follow sign conventions. Why? Because the object distance value already written by following the sign convention. Okay, again when you are substituting that value in this formula, don't follow the sign conventions. Okay, for the two times. Next we will get the magnification value is minus 1 by 2, and we got the magnification minus 0.5. Here minus sign represents, in the short tricks and methods I told you, if the magnification is negative, then the image is real inverted, and here 0.5, it is less than 1, so image is diminished. So finally the nature of the image is real inverted diminished. Okay, and in this problem itself is asking us to find out the height of the image also. So again I will use the magnification formula. So here M equals to HI by HO equals to V by U. So HI, height of the image, is not given. By height of the object, that is given 2 centimeters, I have taken that is positive. Why? Because the distances which are measured in the upward direction from the principal axis should be taken positive. Equals to image distance is 30, by object distance u value is minus 60, then we will get here height of the image equals to minus 1. A double convex lens has two surfaces of equal radii capital R and refractive index n equals to 15. See here also radius of curvature is given and refractive index value given and focal length is actually asking. Again we have to use the lens maker's formula. In the previous problem also I told you that whenever radius of curvatures and refractive index focal length value is given, we have to use the lens maker's formula only. Okay, and now you may be getting one doubt. Refractive index value, however, we should always take positive only. It is not 15, it is 1.5, remember that. Okay, it may be a little bit a printing mistake, but here refractive index value is 1.5. now sir, R1 R2, okay sir, which one should be taken positive? R1 should be taken positive or negative, or R2 should be taken positive or negative? See here, this left side curved surface is actually R1 and the right side curved surface is R2. Okay, so R1 is nothing but distance from optic center to the first focus, and R2 is nothing but distance from optic center to the second focus. In case of lenses, I told you that on right side first focus, on left side second focus lies. So here R1 is nothing but distance from optic center to the f1. So see here, distance from optic center to the f1 along the direction of the light, that is left to right, and we have taken the direction of the light also left to right, so we should take R1 positive. Okay, next R2, this right side curved surface represents R2, distance from optic center to the second focus, that is this distance is right to left, and we have taken the direction of the light left to right, so we should take the R2 negative. Then here 1 by R1 minus 1 by minus R2, minus into minus becomes plus. So finally we will get the formula 1 by f equals to n minus 1 into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Now when you substitute these values, here R1 is equals to R2, we know that. Okay, has two surfaces of equal radii. Okay, so R values are same here, and 1 by f equals to 1.5 minus 1 into 1 by r plus 1 by r. Finally we will get focal length is equals to radius of curvature. Okay, the focal length of this lens is equal to radius of curvature. The only simple thing we have to figure out here, which formula we have to use. Second, by following the sign conventions, we have to substitute the values of radius of curvatures. In a lens, left side, okay, this curved surface is actually, it is the radius of curvature of first one, and the right side curved surface is actually second radius of curvature. Remember this. Next, find the refractive index of a glass which is a symmetrical converging lens. Symmetrical converging lens is nothing but it means that a lens radius of curvatures are same. R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R. Remember that. That is symmetrical converging lens if its focal length is equal to the radius of curvature of its surface. Okay, and its focal length is equal to the radius of curvature of symmetrical converging lens. Okay, so here in case of symmetrical converging lens, just now we have done one problem. I told you that R1 we should take positive, R2 should be taken negative. Okay, so here also R1 will take positive and R2 will be taken negative. So it is a convex lens, focal length, and he is saying that its focal length is equal to the radius of curvature. Okay, so again focal length, radius of curvatures and the refractive index values are given, so we are going to use the lens maker's formula only. So finally 1 by f n minus 1, okay, into 1 by R1, it is a converging lens. So just now I told you that in converging lens we have to take the R1 positive and R2 should be taken negative. R2 should be taken negative, and focal length is equals to what? Radius of curvature. So at the place of focal length we can write R, and here R1 equals to R2 equals to R. So at the place of R1 we can write R, and R2 value is minus R. Why? Because R2 should be taken negative in case of converging lens. So minus into minus plus. So 1 by R equals, we will get n minus 1 into 2 by R. Then finally we will get n value 1.5. Again here, we, in order to figure out the solution of this problem, is very simple. We have applied the lens maker's formula. Okay, and here radius of curvatures, the two radius of curvatures are equal and they are also equal to the focal length. So at the place of focal length I have written radius of curvature, and for converging lens, convex lens, just now I told you that R1 should be taken positive and R2 should be taken negative. Remember that. Next, find the radii of curvature of convexo concave convergent lens. Okay, so here convexo and concave. lens made up of glass with refractive index n equals to 1.5, having the focal length of 24 centimeters. One of the radii of curvature is double the other. Okay, one of the radii of curvature is double the other. So here, in order to understand this problem very clearly, you can understand this one. See, find the radii of curvature of convex-concave convergent lens made up of glass with refractive index n equals to 1.5 and focal length. See, in this problem also, radius of curvature is given, and one of the radius of curvature is double than the other, and refractive index value given, focal length value is given. So just with the blind eyes, you can imagine that here also we have to use lens maker's formula only. Okay, whenever radius of curvatures, refractive index, focal length values are given, okay, blindly you should remember that lens maker's formula should be used. Okay, now it is a convexo-concave lens na, so for this especially you have to remember a little thing, that is for convexo-concave lens, R1 should be taken positive and R2 should be taken positive, 2 also should be taken positive. Okay, so according to the lens maker's formula, 1 by f, refractive index value 1.5 that is given, so 1.5 minus 1, and focal length value is given 24 centimeters into 1 by r1 minus 1 by 2 r1. Okay, we should take both positive, so we need not to actually change any signs here. 1 by r1 minus, and r1 value r1 only, and r2 value is 2 r1. Why? Because one of the radius of curvature is double than the other na, so that is why r1 value is r1 only, but r2 value is 2 r1. Now when we do a little simplification this, we will get r1 value 6 centimeters. Okay, r1 value 6 centimeters, then r2 value is 12 centimeters. Why? Because in the problem it is mentioned that one of the radii of curvature is double the other. Next, a parallel beam of rays is incident on a convergent lens with a focal length of 40 centimeters. Okay, a parallel beam of rays incident on a convergent lens. This is a convergent lens with a focal length of 40 centimeters. Okay, distance from optic center to its focus is 40 centimeters. Where a divergent lens with a focal length of 15 centimeters should be placed. Where a divergent lens with the focal length 15 centimeters should be placed for the beam of rays to remain parallel after passing through the two lenses. Draw a ray diagram. See beta, a parallel light rays are moving towards the converging lens of focal length 40 centimeters, and is asking that where a diverging lens should be placed, okay, beside this converging lens. When this light rays passes through these two lenses, they should be remain parallel. These light rays should be remain parallel again. So you all know that, sir, when these parallel light rays are actually incident on the lens, after refraction they converge to its right side focus point. Okay, and we should place this diverging lens, okay, such that we should place the diverging lens beside this converging lens such that the right side focus of this diverging lens should intersect with the right side focus of this converging lens. Okay, these light rays, when they pass through these two lenses, after passing through these two lenses also, they must be remain parallel, and he is asking that where should this diverging lens should be placed beside the convex lens. Okay, these light rays after passing through these two lenses, they must be remain parallel. So where they should be placed, what should be the distance between these two lenses? See, the right side focus of the converging lens should intersect with the right side focus of the diverging lens. It should be placed like this. Okay, so in order to place like that, the distance between these two lenses, see, the distance from converging lens to focus is 40 centimeters. Okay, and we should place the biconverging lens such that its right side focus should intersect with the right side focus of this converging lens. This focus, small f, this is the right side focus of converging lens. Simultaneously it is the right side focus of biconcave lens also, remember. Okay, so the distance from here biconverging lens to the focus point 40. Okay, and here distance between the optic center and focus point is 15. So 40 minus 15, that is 25 centimeters. So here the distance between these two lenses must be 25 centimeters. Okay, so that the parallel light rays after these two lenses, they will be remain parallel again, they will be remain parallel. When this kind of problems are asked, okay, you just subtract the focal length of second lens from the first lens. Okay, in most of the cases you will easily get the answer like that. Next, the distance between the 2-point sources of light is 24 centimeters. The distance between the 2-point sources of light. So here I have drawn the diagram, a simple diagram to understand this. This is the point source 1 and this is the point source 2, and distance between these 2 point sources is 24 centimeters. Okay. Where should a convergent lens with a focal length of f equals to 9 centimeters be placed between them to obtain the images of both sources at the same point? Very interesting question. That the distance between the 2 point sources of light okay, is 24 centimeters, and is asking that where should a convex lens with focal length 9 centimeters should be placed to get the images of these 2 point sources of light at the same distance. Okay, how this convex lens should be placed between these points or 2 point sources of light such that you should get the images of these 2 point sources of light by this lens at the same distance. We don't know at what distance we have to place the this lens from these point sources. So let's consider that we have to place the lens at x distance from the point source 1. Then the image will be formed at v distance. Let's consider. Okay, so this acts as object to the lens. Okay, this acts as object to the lens. And see, if you do not understand the problem, one more time I'll explain clearly. He's asking that there are 2 point sources of light P1 and P2 separated by the distance 24 centimeters. Okay, and is asking where a convex lens of focal length 9 centimeters should be placed between them so that the images formed by the lens of the means point source 1 image will be formed at certain distance. Point 2 this light source image also will be formed at the same distance. It should be formed. So the images of these 2 point sources should be formed at same distance by this convex lens. So where we should place this lens such that the images of the point sources of these 2 point sources, okay, should be formed at same distance. So let's consider that lens should be placed at x distance from point source 1. So when the lens is placed at x distance from the point source 1, this point source 1 acts as object. So object distance is x, which we should take a negative here. So for point source 1, object distance is x and image will be formed at v distance. Okay. Now for the point source 2, object distance is 24 minus x. So here object distance is 24 minus x and image distance also same, that is v only in both the cases. So we have considered that when the lens is placed at x distance from the point source 1 and at 24 minus x distance from the point source 2, image will be formed at same distance, that is v. Okay, so here we are going to substitute these values in the lens formula separately, then we will get the 2 equations, then we solve the 2 equations, then we will get the x value. Okay, see here, distance between the 2 point sources is 24 centimeters and focal length of that lens is 9 centimeters. Consider that the lens is separated from the first object at a distance x centimeters. So just now I told you here, let's consider this lens should be placed at x distance from the point source 1. Then object distance here minus x and image distance is v. And for point source 2, object distance is 24 minus x and image distance is same again v only. So here from the first point source and using the lens formula, now we are going to use the lens makers formula, so and we are going to use them for 2 times. Okay, for point source 1 separately once and for point source 2 and separately other time. Second time also we are going to use that one. Okay, so first for point source 1, focal length is 9 and object distance is minus x and image distance is v. Okay, and next here for second point source, so focal length is 9 and image distance is v as it is, and next object distance is 24 minus x. Okay, so for point source 1 by 9 equals to, see here, minus 1 by u object distance. So here minus into minus plus because it should be taken negative now, plus 1 by v, and here 1 by 9 equals to 1 by, see this is the object distance, but here actually minus 1 by u. In the lens formula you will find out minus 1 by u. So here minus into minus will get plus. So as it is 24 minus x plus 1 by v. Now when we solve these two equations, okay, then we will get x equals to 6 centimeters or 18 centimeters. It means the lens must be placed at 6 centimeters or 18 centimeters to get the image of these 2 point sources at the same distance. So I hope that you understood here clearly. We have applied the lens formula for point source 1 separately and for point source 2 separately. Okay, 1 by f, 1 by v minus 1 by u na. So minus 1 by u value minus x. So minus to minus plus. So it is written here 1 by x. Okay, and here also 1 by 9 equals to 1 by v minus 1 by u na. So minus 1 by object distance is minus 24 minus x. So minus into minus plus, that is written here 1 by 24 minus x. So don't get any kind of confusion here. Okay, beta, these are all the problems related to the refraction of light. I hope that you have understood very well.